What is up, Dog Nation? The boys are back. It's week 4. The Dogs are still undefeated after a gritty game versus South Carolina. We're back, ready for another week. UAB, they're coming to Athens, and it's going to be a bloodbath. But we got to get you ready for it. So before we get into it, make sure you like this video, that you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure you're following us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. We need you guys. But just make sure you're doing all those things, and let's get right into it.
Wow, Griff, well done on the intro.
Thanks.
Yeah, Griff had to take over today. I'm literally sitting in the hotel lobby. So I might be. Can you hear me all right, Griff, talking like this?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, good. Yeah, I'm talking a little soft, but there's people walking in and out of here. So, yeah, that was good on the intro, though. Well done. Natural.
Thanks. I do my best. I was a journalism major for a bit in college.
Flex. How long?
It was, almost 2 years, almost.
Oh, really?
It was three semesters. Yeah, I got into Grady College.
Another flex.
Yeah, I took a full semester of classes at Grady, and then I switched to.
You're different. You're different.
Different. Yeah.
Well, folks, let me tell you, this slate on Saturday is what they make movies about. It is absolutely loaded. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to just literally kick back. Well, the way our schedule falls right now, we're in the playoffs. If we lose, we're done. But if we win the next 2 games, we get Saturday off. I can't even begin to describe how nice it's going to be just to sit back and watch football all day. I haven't got to do that all year. I've pitched the last 3 Saturdays. So I'll be looking forward to this. But first off, obviously, the Dogs. Number one, I was surprised to see this is a 6:30 game. I don't know how that slipped my mind, but that's really weird.
Yeah, it is. It's really weird. Not sadly, it's great for my friend. I will be at a wedding on Saturday, so won't get to intake much football on Saturday, but I'm still excited.
It's a brutal Saturday for a wedding, man.
Yeah, it really is. At least Georgia's playing UAB. That is, at the end of the day,
dude, but it doesn't. Here, so me and my wife go on walks a lot. That's what she likes to do. So I go on walks with her. Well, we got to talking the other day about weddings, and she's like, "Well, nobody cares about football like you care about football. Nobody cares about that one going to a wedding." I was like,
people do.
It's like you think that's fact? I'm like, you're speaking for your friends, right? So what you mean is, like, none of my friends care about football, which yeah, they probably don't. All the men at that wedding, number one, weddings are fine. It's a good time. You can see a lot of people.
Yeah.
But number one, on a Saturday, nobody wants to be there on a college football Saturday. But then people will be like, oh, well, my Georgia's on bye. I don't care. I'll watch every single game. Like, Georgia's on bye this week to me. Like, in all honesty, that's just how it is.
It does. I will say it does make it a little easier though when Georgia is, because for me personally, like that's the game I look forward to the most in the week. So it makes it a little easier.
Yeah, definitely. And it's definitely easier when Georgia's not playing much of anybody. But it's still like, don't plan a wedding and then try to justify it by saying, well, Georgia's on bye. Listen, you're inviting other fan bases there. It ain't.
My wedding won't, but.
I had 2 options for my wedding date. It was either December 2nd or December 10th. I guess that doesn't add up. Either December 3rd or December 10th. And it was instant for me. It was like, it's got to be 10th.
Yeah, because the SEC championship.
And my mother-in-law was like, why? And I was like, I'm just telling you, it's got to be 10th. We need the 10th right now. And then I was in Atlanta for the SEC championship. So
you were.
That's just how that's just what has to be done. You got to make sacrifices. Like, some people like myself, we have to have weddings either in the fall or winter. I play baseball all year. Can't have it in the spring or summer. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Do it on Friday night. Be different. Kitty's like, well, people work on Fridays. I'm like, not Friday nights.
Yeah.
She's like, well, nobody wants to, get off work and go straight to a wedding. I'm like, honey, nobody wants to get out of bed and go to a wedding. Either one. Let's just be real. Weddings are weddings. Like, you're obligated to go to most of them. It's not like you're booking a calendar for it. So let's make it the best for everybody coming, the best experience possible, and nobody will be upset.
Yeah, my wedding will not be in the fall. as beautiful as the weather is in the fall, and that's a
fall's the
great
best.
time to have a wedding. It's football is on, and so that's an issue. So
Friday night.
I just would prefer to just do it in another time. I don't mind the winter. I think the cold is fine, honestly. The spring is a great time as well. Summer it feels weird to me. It's a little too hot in the summer.
Here's another thing about this. We've probably lost all the audience at this point. But when I was getting married, I'm speaking for me personally. If you had a good excuse for not coming, I was not going to be upset. Like, it's just like, okay, like, it is a big deal. I'm getting married, but I don't expect you to think it's a big deal, right? Like, especially people that I'm not just super close with.
Yeah.
So, like, people, I mean, my wife thinks we got to go to every wedding and on the docket. I'm like, listen, we can't make all of these. I won't ever be home a single weekend. We're at the age now where all my friends are getting married. Like, I can't possibly make them all. So, like, they're going to understand. Like, one of my good buddies got married last year during the Georgia-Tennessee game. He was pissed. It was on that day. It just fell on that day. Like, as men, we don't really get to have that scheduling. Like, we don't really get much say in this. Like, he just had to show up and be there. And he's asking me to tell him scores while I'm sitting sitting out there in the freaking place. Obviously, I didn't, but I was watching it during his reception. And I would expect anyone else who, if I'm getting married on Georgia-Tennessee game, I would expect all Georgia-Tennessee fans to be watching it out there. If you weren't, I'd be disappointed.
I mean, in that scenario, if this was a situation that I was put in, I'm probably going to do my best to find a way to where I can incorporate that into my wedding. In fact,
yes. Good side note there. If you're going to get married on Saturday in the fall, maybe do like an 11 a.m. wedding, and then I get reception and the other thing confused. Wedding reception, and then
after the ceremony, the ceremony, and then the reception. Yes. Yeah.
At the reception, have it a place where there's a bunch of TVs in there. That'd be sick. Then you're hanging out with people, watching football. Now that's cool.
That's sick. I'd be down for that.
That's a good caveat. You're allowed to have a fall wedding if it's early, or if there's a really bad noon slate, and then you have TVs at the reception. That's big time, actually.
That'd be a great wedding. That'd be probably the coolest wedding that you could possibly go to be honest.
Anyway, the Dawgs play UAB at 6:30.
They do at 6:30 night game, baby. The red lights are going to be on.
We got what we asked for, a night game in Sanford.
I'm gonna be leaving Athens on Friday night to go down for that wedding, or go up for that wedding. But I'm probably gonna have to drive by the stadium, see the red lights on, because they'll definitely be on Friday night, right?
You would think so. Yeah, they'll be getting that thing primed. UAB comes in with a new head coach, Trent Dilfer, Super Bowl quarterback. He also coached a private school in Tennessee, and they just blew the doors off every person they played. Like, it was just a massacre every week. So it's going to be a little new look. They did struggle. Was it Georgia Southern that took it to them?
I think so. Let me look. Yeah, it was because Jake. I think that week.
I mean, UAB is one of those schools where I really never want to schedule them. Like, they're good enough where you don't really want to be playing them in a cupcake game. So that always scares me. Like, UAB is good. I'm not near as scared anymore as I was, when I was growing up, because you never knew what you're going to get on Saturdays. There is an element to that I miss a little bit. Just that straight flip a coin on what team's going to show up on that Saturday, because when we showed up good, it meant a lot. It was like, wow, if we play like this, we can win it all. And then the next week we lose by 4 touchdowns. I'm like, this team's not winning at all.
I'll never forget the feeling of that LSU game in 2013. You lost that first game to Clemson, and then you win that game, and it was just so emotional. It was just such a hard fought game.
It's that, and if we won that game now, it would be like, all right, good, we won it. Like, we're supposed to win that game,
Yeah.
But on the way home, I remember me and my dad listening to freaking post game talk, freaking Scott Howard and the boys the whole way, just relishing every interview, every possible outlet of that game, and we're just fired up. And then who did we end up losing to that? You don't even remember 2013.
Missouri, for one. This is the only time we've lost to them.
I was at that one too. It was awful.
It's the only time, and then we lost to Auburn.
I remember we lost to Auburn, obviously.
Because that
year was brutal, man. We were supposed to be there. That was supposed to be the team. Anyway,
and like we could have. We had a lot of injuries that year, and it just all fell apart so quickly.
Yeah.
Did we lose to?
Well, that's what happens when you have injuries and no depth.
Did we lose to Georgia Tech that year? No, 2013 we won.
2014.
What year did we lose to Georgia Tech?
No, I don't know. Doesn't matter. Anyway, UAB. Griff, what are some things you're looking for in this game against UAB? What will make you walk away and be like, I'm satisfied with this game?
I really want to see Carson Beck let it loose a little bit. I want Bobo to take some shots early. Let him sling that thing. Like, this is a good time to do that when it's low pressure, no stakes in it. Like, if you get a turnover, like, you can bounce back against UAB with, the talent differential. You get into a game with a team with more talent, like, it's going to be tough to come back from a mistake like that. But I want him to let it loose, just sling the thing, get some confidence going. He's got the arm and the talent to be great, and so I just give him the opportunity to, at least. Or if it's Carson who's just not wanting to make that throw, like, I want to see him get comfortable in there and just sling it.
Yeah, I leaned to more of that second part. I think Bobo was dialing up plays in the first half that gave him an option of throwing the ball deep, and he was choosing.
I agree.
He was choosing not to take that option. In the second half, it was his only read. It was like, hey, this is the read right here. This is your number one read. Let him one-on-one ball. Let him go get it. And we've talked about it here before. Like that, I feel like that's what Beck needs to get in the flow of the game, is to let one rip, because he's kind of a gunslinger, and he needs to have that gunslinger mentality. Like, you're going to throw interceptions. When you're a gunslinger, you're going to throw interceptions. It's just when to throw those interceptions. Like, that's the big difference. Like, I don't want to throw any names out, but like, there's people that's played for us in the past. It's like, well, you never those interceptions. You got a high completion percentage. It's like, well, it's kind of lame at the same time. Like, you're not taking any chances. You're not using the middle of the field. Like, yeah, don't throw an interception in the red zone. Don't throw an interception on our side of the field. If we're at the 50 and it's second and 1, take a shot to the end zone. If they pick it off, who cares? Right.
But at the same time too, even when you're in the red zone, like I want to get points, obviously, but I don't want to kick a field goal every time we get in the red zone. I want to score touchdowns.
You don't want to ever throw an interception in the red zone. You got to get some points.
You don't want to throw an interception, but just like take a chance, like, just because, like, don't be too conservative is what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's an aspect of just making the right decision in the red zone, but not all interceptions are created equal. Like, not even close.
No.
There's a difference in a bad interception and one. It's 3rd and 8. Like, don't be afraid to just throw an arm punt. Like, you might get a PI. Like, I'm in favor of if it's 3rd and 8 and we're on the 45, our own 45. Freaking let it ride. If you don't have something right there that sticks, let it eat. You might get a PI, and heck, if you throw a pick, whatever, it's a punt. So,
and arm punt is like the best kind of interception, because it's like, well, we're about to punt it anyway, so
yeah, exactly. It's just whatever. For me, I think I want to continue to see the ground game be good. Like, Dejan looked really well. He's got to stay healthy. Honestly, just come out with full health would be the best thing we can happen in this game. Our injury list is outstanding right now. It's unbelievably large.
It's like the biggest it's ever been. Is that what was
that's
that?
What Ron Corson said. Yeah. So that's an issue. But obviously this week, hopefully, it doesn't come bite us in the butt. But moving forward, that is a problem. So hopefully, come out injury free. I'd love to see the defense just swarm. Like, they're going to do what they do. I'd love to see some turnovers, some sacks, and then let's let Bowers eat a little bit.
We gotta let him eat, man. Feed him.
There's already Florida fans popping up talking about his stats through week 2 or week 3, whatever we're at. Like,
and you see, the thing is, he could stop his career right now and have better career stats than Kyle Pitts, but that's a conversation for another day.
You realize after this Saturday, we'll be a third the way through the season.
Why'd you say that?
That's crazy, ain't it? It feels like it just started.
It did just start. Week 1 was yesterday.
Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, I'm looking forward to. I want to see the offensive line move people. I'm anxious to see who steps in for Marius Mims and how he plays. I know Blasky's back this week, so hopefully we get some good looks there. I know Xavier Trust bumped out from guard to tackle when Marius Mims went out. So
yeah,
let's hope let's hope we see a good show in there because it looks like we're going to be without him for a while. It's a huge loss. The first round guy going down. I mean, that's hard to replace. We lose a first round guy every single year. Like
it's crazy. And people act like we, but it actually pivot point. It's good that our injury list is as long as it is because if we do lose a game at any point in the season, it actually doesn't count. So as long as we get those guys back, at the end of the season, we'll still be able to make the playoff because we would have won those games with them. So
we'd be favored against those teams on a neutral field.
Yeah, exactly. So it is as long as they come back by the end of the season going into the playoff, we'll make it even if we lose 2 to 3 games because those games.
You know what else?
Count.
I think I saw Kirby smile after the game, Griff. I think the SEC might be in trouble.
Yeah, dude, for real.
He smiled.
Yeah,
he's having fun.
He heard Shane Beamer talking at the half, saying he was kicking butts, and he gave a little chuckle at it. So
I also heard one of the players say that they were mad that after the first half. They were mad they were getting beat.
They looked mad in the second half. So I mean, watch out.
Yeah.
You know who didn't look mad in the second half?
Heard maybe a players meeting.
Oh,
Alabama's sorry, dude. Alabama's sorry.
Dude,
they're trying to rationalize everything they possibly can. Like, oh, dude, look, this player says they were mad after the loss. Yeah, I mean, so were you, right? Like,
they were.
As an Alabama fan, you were pissed after the loss too. What'd you do? Go work harder the next week? No, you probably were worse. Like, so lame. People just don't understand athletes' mentality. Like, yeah, you're pissed after you lost. They don't mean shit. Like, it's just how it is. Whatever. Anyway. Moving forward, give me a player of the game on offense and defense.
Player of the game on offense. You know what? I'm just gonna. They're finally gonna get Brock some good touches this week. I see him having a 100-yard game, maybe a couple tutties. I want them to feed the man. Give him what he deserves. He works his butt off for us.
Agreed.
So let's get him some tutties. Let's get him some yards. And then defense. I want to see someone big step up on the edge. I want to see Marvin Jones Jr. Or Michael, get a couple sacks.
Be nice. Rack up a stat list so midway through the season somebody's not like, well, Georgia, they got a really good defense, but they don't really sack anybody.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't really want to have to go through that narrative again and explain once again to all these incompetent
If it ain't that,
fans.
It'll be something else.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stick with you on offense. I'll roll with Bowers too, just because I think we both want to see that. I think he deserves it. Let's let him boost. Like, stats are a big deal. People act like they're not. They are. Like, to the player, to Brock, he's not worried about his stats, but like when you look back on his career, like obviously 3 rings is gonna look real nice, but let him set some records too. Like we're seeing an unprecedented player. Like let him
eat.
Let him cement his name in college football with some of these numbers he's gonna put up.
Yeah.
And then on defense, I'd like to see Jordan Hall get after the pass
I like
a little
that.
bit.
I like that.
He comes in on some packages right now. I want to see him get some serious burn and make a statement. That'd be nice. Score prediction.
Before you say that, just because you were saying about Jordan Hall getting out after the passer, one thing that when I've been watching Eagles games the past 2 weeks, Jordan Davis, he gets after the quarterback a lot in the NFL, and no one ever said anything about him doing that in college, but
they said stuff about him not doing it in college.
Yeah, exactly, and he gets after the quarterback. But
people don't understand that there's different defensive philosophies, and Kirby Smart is more of keep the guy in the pocket and make him beat you out of the pocket and condense the pocket towards him where he feels the pressure. Not, just beat your guy, blow by him, and let him escape the pocket. Like that's just not what he does.
Nope. But,
very, very, very select times.
Score prediction though. What's the over/under for this game? Do you know?
I'm not sure. I think it's like a 42-point spread.
It is a 42-point spread. Can I look up the over/under real quick before I predict my score? I'm going to use that as a.
I'm going to go 42-0. I would see the spread. 42-0. Okay. We're going to throw up a goose egg.
All right. I like the goose egg. I'll go 54. I'll go 49-0.
Nice.
Under barely hits. We cover by a touchdown.
Love it. All right. Let's that was our Georgia segment. If you're this far, please like and subscribe to the video, Georgia fans. We appreciate you guys. Y'all are blowing us up on Twitter. It's the best. I mean, Griffin literally texted us yesterday and said, "Hey guys, we're one follower away from 9,000." And then I looked earlier tonight, and it was 9,075. So we're just blowing up daily.
We're almost at 10K, baby. 10K.
We appreciate you guys. I mean, when we started that page, it was just like, let's just do this for fun, and then all of a sudden, it just got rolling. So you give voices to 3 people who probably don't deserve it, and we're just going to keep running with it. And when we will represent the fan base. But
this is fun for us. I mean, we enjoy it. Like, this is what I do any given day anyway. Like,
yeah, we literally turn the podcast off and then just continue to podcast without recording, pretty much. So,
but if you know somebody who's following the Twitter and they're not subscribed on the YouTube, get them to subscribe. Tell your best friends to subscribe to the YouTube. Watch the videos. Give them a like.
The amount of things we could do with more subscribers would be worth it.
We have. I mean, I have some ideas in the works for when Cole can get off. Maybe we do a scramble or something. Maybe we get Biggie back and 2-on-2 scramble. Maybe we've talked about maybe Cole throwing a few to us and us trying to hit off of him.
Live ABs will definitely happen.
And I have not hit a baseball since the age of about 11 years old. So that'll be it'll be something you want to watch.
Yeah, it's a pretty lose-lose situation for me there.
Yeah, it is. But, I
mean, if you do happen to make contact with us, it's going to suck bad.
There's a 0% chance I'm making contact with a ball.
I think I underestimate how hard it is to hit sometimes because people are like, hey, yeah, do live ABs. It'd be funny. I'm like, yeah. And I'm thinking, God, dude, if they barrel that up, I'm pissed.
We should when we do a combine. I can sling the rock. I'll show off my arm a little bit.
Anyway, appreciate you guys being here. Y'all have a good rest of the week. Please hang around. Listen to us talk about the rest of the slate. All right, let's do it. Let's just start from noon and work our way down. Yeah,
biggest noon game. Or let's see. There's nothing really on Thursday or Friday that's big.
Nothing worth talking about. The noon slate starts big.
Clemson, Florida. Clemson, Florida State.
Huge.
Let's start there.
Huge. This, I think this is more than likely going to decide the ACC. Like, Miami's there. Miami's a potential threat. But, they kind of got to earn that at this point. They haven't won the ACC in forever. At least these 2 teams have.
I do have a future on them. You do too.
I don't have one on Miami, I don't think.
You don't have one? I thought you did. I have one on Miami and Duke.
I have multiple. Anyway, so the line is 2.5. That's terrifying line. Like, Florida State seems like they're a couple touchdowns better than Clemson. Obviously, they had a hiccup last week against Boston College, but they still won the game. Clemson just seems like this just feels like a game Clemson wins.
It does.
It's just one of those things where everybody wants a dynasty to be done. They're never really a dynasty, but they were very close to it, and they're still a top 5 program. And this just feels like, they're done. They're dead. Somebody else is taking over. And if this was in Florida State, I think Florida State wears them out. The fact it's in Clemson at noon, this just feels like a game they win. We're going to see what Florida State has, but this feels like Clemson to me.
Yeah, it does. It does feel like Clemson to me as well. And it has nothing to do with the way that Florida State Boston College game looked. Like, zero things to do with it.
No,
not a dang thing. It does feel like game Clemson wins. Clemson obviously has talent, guys. Like, we can sit here and act like they're not good because they got hammered by Duke as much as we want, but they have the players to win football games, especially in the ACC.
Yeah.
And so I think Clemson's going to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, gun to my head, I'd take Clemson money line for sure, but I can't sit there and pull for Clemson to win because then I have to watch Dabo's smugness after the game, and it just makes me want to throw up thinking about that.
I kind of would love an opportunity to get to play them, though. Wouldn't you?
Yes, we'd kill them. All right, I think another sneaky big game at noon is Auburn at A&M because I tweeted on our page the other day, rank the top 8 teams in the SEC, and there was quite a few responses, but there was multiple responses that didn't have A&M in the top 8. And I just think that
really?
is insane. Yes.
I saw a lot that had them at 3, and I think that's where I would put them.
No, I don't think any of them had it at 3. They had Ole Miss at 3.
I would go – my top 3 would definitely be Georgia, LSU, Texas A&M right now.
Agreed. I agree. I'm in that camp too. I saw nobody put them that high. Everybody was putting them like either 6 to 8 or not on. They had like some people had Florida above them.
I might
Tennessee
have
was above
Mizzou
multiple times. Mizzou was above them.
I might have Mizzou in the top 5.
Yeah, like they've earned that. So like you can't be upset with it. I think I know they've looked bad. I can understand that. I would probably put Bama at 2 just for right now.
Yeah, I mean I get what you're saying.
But
I'm not out on Bama completely. I still think their football team is good. I mean, obviously,
right. Well, they can flip a switch anytime. If they look like that again on Saturday, then they're not to be taken serious. But they can absolutely flip a switch. I don't know if they will or not.
I don't think they played this. They play Ole Miss. That's right.
A&M is a top 4 team.
Yeah,
in the SEC. They could be 2. There's a very real chance. Like, yes, they went to Miami and got smoked. I take no stock in that. Miami's really good at home. They caught fire. A&M's still learning some things. New OC, like they're so talented, and they're tough to beat at home. I think if they make a statement against Auburn, people will be like, "Oh wait, A&M actually is pretty good." Like, yeah, they are good. Auburn's not good, but yeah, A&M's good. So we'll see what happens. I mean, if they look like crap against Auburn against the same A&M team, this is kind of a litmus test for them, in my opinion.
Yep.
Let's move on to the 3:30 slate, which is
Colorado, Oregon, baby.
Unbelievably loaded. I don't think we spend a whole lot of time talking about this game. Oregon's going to kill them.
Yeah, they are. It's been a good 3 weeks for Dion in Colorado, but at the end of the day, at the end of the day, Colorado State is probably a bottom 25 team in college football. FBS.
No, that's a stretch. That's not true.
Colorado State is what I meant. My bad.
Oh, yeah, probably so.
Colorado State is a bottom 25 team. Nebraska is god awful, especially with Jeff Sims at the helm.
They're terrible.
TCU, that win probably is going to look pretty decent at the end of the year. I think that's a good win, especially at TCU. I don't think they're terrible. They're not good by any means, but they're not bad.
No, you're right. Colorado has had, like, if you draw it up, if Dion draws it up, that's as good of a 3 weeks they can have in terms of number one results, like press, everything about it. Like, he's got it booming. They're going to be really good for years to come. But Oregon is too good. Oregon is a 21-point favorite at home. Like, let's be real, guys. Like that, you're not losing a 21-point favorite at home. That you can probably count on your hands how many times a 20-point favorite has lost at home.
Well, it happened for Colorado at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, well, that's a week 1 line.
It's different. It's different for sure. But it was 23, and was it 20? Was it 20? It was 20.
I think it may open up at 20. Did it stay there?
It was 20 at game time for sure.
Okay. Next game, this is what I'm really looking forward to, is UCLA at Utah.
Yeah, this is an interesting one.
Utah at home is borderline impossible to beat. I don't know how many games they've lost at home in the last 5 years, but it's got to fit on one hand. UCLA has a freshman quarterback, Dante Moore, that if you haven't watched him play, you need to turn this TV on and watch it. He's really, really good, especially with Chip Kelly. He's going to be a nightmare by his junior year. UCLA could go in there and beat them.
Yeah, I haven't tuned into many UCLA games this year, but
Dante Moore's legit, man. He's the truth.
Yeah.
So I think that's the game where UCLA can go in there and win. It's a 4.5-point spread. I lean UCLA to cover that. I really do, and I think the house will be on Utah. I like UCLA to cover that spread. And then the last 3:30 game, Ole Miss at Alabama. Wow. Like I said earlier, this is a game. If Alabama looks like they had the last 2 weeks, Ole Miss is going to score quite a few points on them,
and they won't.
Yeah, this feels like a game where Alabama beats crap.
This game is screaming Alabama beats the dog crap out of Ole Miss.
Yeah, I agree.
Ole Miss is guys. Ole Miss is not good.
No.
I know Lane Kiffin is like a fun guy to like have in college football. Everybody loves him for whatever reason, but he's not a great coach by any means.
Now, Ole Miss did play him pretty decent last year, right? Like they had him on the ropes in Oxford.
Yeah, they did. They played him pretty well.
Really, the only time that they've blown out Lane Kiffin was that time he got on before the game and was like, better get your popcorn ready, and then threw his play sheet up or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
And then they just killed him. Well, he went for it on fourth down like twice on his own 20. Like, he just dumb stuff.
But at the end, Nick Saban or Lane Kiffin does not win these kinds of games.
No, he definitely does not win it. But here's what matters, Griff. What matters is the spread is a touchdown. And last year, Vegas never compensated for the fact that Bama wasn't Bama. They kept giving us big lines, and teams kept covering and winning. A&M was like a 14-point spread, and they won the game. LSU was like an 11-point spread. They won the game.
A&M didn't beat.
You're right. They should have. They should have beat.
They should have beat.
They blew it bad. They blew it bad. Tennessee was a 9-point spread. Beat them. Like, they never adjusted these lines, and this could be a case where if you're on it early enough, we said it multiple times against Texas. Alabama was a pretty big favorite. It was like, okay,
7.
Yeah, that's the touchdown favorite against Texas. Maybe it's the same thing where they just giving Alabama too much credit. You could get on this early. South Florida. Now we roll into Ole Miss. Like, we could look back on this on Sunday and be like, we were stupid for not taking Ole Miss.
Yeah. I think I'm probably going to end up staying away from this game, but I don't know. Right now, I would take Bama at 6.5. It's 6.5 right now. So
yeah, that seems like the play, but I just don't know. I don't know about them yet. The worst game of the slate easily is Oklahoma State at Iowa State. Those two teams make me want to kill myself. They're terrible.
They're both awful.
Didn't so
Oklahoma
bad.
State just get slaughtered by South Alabama?
Yes, they got smoked by them.
Over under for this game is
33-7.
Yeah, that's
in Oklahoma State. Disgusting ball.
Yeah, I hate to see that for our boy.
Yeah, he might be done. Gundy might be done.
He might be.
All right, and then we go to the 7 o'clock slate. There's not a lot of games.
Let's not. I want to bring up Tennessee UTSA for just a second.
No, Griff, don't do this.
UTSA might win this game outright.
No, they're not. They're best
I'm
players.
Just kidding. I'm kidding.
No, Tennessee's gonna kill them. Arkansas at LSU. LSU's gonna kill them, right?
Yeah, Arkansas sucks. They're not.
Arkansas's bad. They're really bad.
KJ Jefferson has really never been good. But for some reason, people kept acting at the beginning of the year, every year, like he is like a top 3 quarterback in the SEC, and he's never been good.
He does get a very long leash.
Whereas Carson Beck starts
the shine is kind of coming off of Sam Pittman, and he's not on the hot seat, but like it's dwindling.
But come on home, Sam.
Oh, dude, I would just get the boys back together.
Come home. Let's get the boys back.
Texas at Baylor. I think this is kind of a tough game for Texas. Baylor is not very good, but that Utah-Baylor game was like one of the most physical football games I've watched all year. Like, they were absolutely beating the crap out of each other. So, and Texas coming off a tough one against Wyoming, where Wyoming kind of made them play 4 quarters. I kind of like the points there. 15. We're not going to talk about this game too much, but I kind of like Baylor 15 there. And here's the big one.
You missed one. After LSU Arkansas, this is a big one for me.
Yeah, you're right.
Oregon, Washington State. I love this game. This game's gonna be awesome.
No doubt, awesome game. This is a chance for DJ to prove that he's not the Clemson DJ.
It is, and I love Oregon State, but everything about this game is just screaming Washington State for me.
The home dog is attractive.
It's so tough to bet against the home dog, even though I love Oregon State. I don't know if I'm going to take a side in this game, but
Cam Ward's good too.
Cam Ward is really good, man, and they've looked good to start the season. So
yeah, that's a game where I'll be taking Washington State +3 at home. I just keep the points, give me the money on Washington State.
Yeah.
Before we get to the biggest one on the slate, let's talk about Iowa Penn State. Iowa's ranked again, which. I don't know. Are we ever going to learn?
Florida's ranked right now.
Yeah.
So
rankings are so lame this time of year.
Like, we shouldn't even have them.
No. How is Tennessee ranked above Florida? That's what I want to know.
Because they were ranked 11 before the game.
Exactly. It's so lame. It's just AP poll. That should never be taken serious.
Because Tennessee
State,
literally got their tail beat. I mean, that just how does that happen?
I don't know. Penn State now last week didn't look great. They, playing at Illinois is not easy, especially for Penn State. Like that's kind of a bad matchup for Penn State just because it's the same style of football. Penn State is way more explosive than Illinois though. Like they should have handled them, and they did pull away at the end. So like that's what you
they pulled away, but Luke Altmaier threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
If you can't tell, I had Illinois plus 14.5, and if he doesn't throw, one of those picks, they probably cover. But
that could be a sign of a different Penn State team where they don't let a team like Illinois linger, and then all of a sudden you're in a game. Like they lingered for a little bit and they put them out of their misery. Like that's what good teams do. You're going to struggle sometimes, but you got to step on their throat in the fourth quarter. So we'll see what they do this week at home against Iowa. It's another one of those weird matchups for Penn State.
It'll be an interesting test for them. It'll be a little different than I think
Iowa is just a more talented Illinois.
They are, yeah. I think Cade McNamara is a lot better than Luke Altmaier. But
I don't know.
I mean, I don't think he's good. But
he might be a better player, but in that system, they're about the same.
Yeah,
that system is worthless, dude. All right, the big one, the granddaddy of them all. There's a couple of decent games left, like Cal at Washington, USC, Arizona State. Those be beat downs, but
Mississippi State, South Carolina. That's an SEC matchup. It's ugly, but
the big one is Ohio State at Notre Dame. Coming into this year, I really didn't expect much out of Notre Dame.
Yeah, I didn't have this game circled.
They have looked very, 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 very good. They've probably been the most consistent team in the country at this point.
Sam Hartman is a baller. I mean, I've liked him for the past 2 years. He's awesome. He's fun.
The NC State win was extremely impressive because NC State is not an easy place to play at all. And they've been really good at home in the past. And that game was raining. There was a lightning delay. Like it was sloppy. You couldn't really throw the ball. And Notre Dame just blew them out.
They throttled them.
Beating any conference team on the road is not easy. They throttled NC State. They now get Notre Dame at home or Ohio State at home. And if you remember back to last year, they went to Ohio State and gave them all they had.
Mm-hmm.
Opening week, all they had. I don't know what the public's. Can you look what the public's on this?
It's about even right now. The last time I looked,
I figured it would be. People hate that against Notre Dame.
I already locked in Notre Dame plus 3.5. I will say, according to Action right now, Notre Dame is getting 54% of the bets, 61% of the money, and Ohio State's getting 46% of the bets, 39% of the money. I mean, obviously, but it's showing the sharps are on Ohio State right now on here. But
I don't really know what to do with this game. I think Notre Dame's better than Ohio State right now. I think Ohio State by week 12 will probably be better. But Ohio State has had some problems with out-of-conference teams in the past few years, like some big-time problems. Like
they got their tail whipped by Oregon at home.
Comes in, what mokes them. Like they've had an issue playing Power 5 out-of-conference games. I like the Irish here. I really do. Like give me the experience of quarterback in a big game this early in the year. Yeah, that one's going to be awesome.
I like having the hook on the field goal there. 3.5. I could see that game being a field goal game somehow.
Yeah, no doubt. I could too. I think it's two good teams, and they're going to have it out. Notre Dame's going to be more physical than them. It's just
they will, and that's always we talked about it a lot last year. That's always been the issue for Ohio State is are they going to be physical enough? They played Georgia really physically, honestly, up front. Like it kind of turned into a game that we didn't really want to play. We didn't really make it a physical game all the way through, and that's why it was the way it went the way that it did. But if they come out in this game and Notre Dame sets the tone. And it's just straight physical. Like you're gonna have to be more physical than us to win this game. It's gonna be tough for them, man, because they aren't built for that.
All right, let's do picks. Let's do picks and get out of here.
All right,
read off Jake's real quick. Jake's texted. Jake texted. Just go ahead and get his.
Let's see. He's got Oregon.
What's the updated standings? Do we know?
I went 2-2 last week. 2-2 the
also
week before that. So 4-4 plus 3-1. I'm 7-5 right now, I think.
Okay. Yeah, we'll make sure we'll do the full tallies.
And I forgot about week 0, 1-1. So
we'll
8-6. I'm 8-6 right now.
We'll post them on Twitter. But go ahead and read Jake's off.
Yeah, Jake has Oregon minus 21 and 21. James Madison minus 5.5. Northwestern Minnesota under 38.5, and Miami Temple under 50.
This man Jake is never going to stop fading Colorado. He's an all-time Colorado fader.
He is.
It's like when you have $50 and you put a little bit down and you're like, well, I'll just keep doubling on this until I get it back.
I mean, I guess I have actually bet against Colorado in every single game they've played.
I did not last week.
I did last week. I did last week, but it was kind of like a meme bet almost, if you will. When they went to overtime, we were at the casino watching it at the sports book, and I went and just put in a ticket for Colorado State money line for overtime. It was plus 200. There's some value there.
There's some value there.
Any team can win in overtime. So I went ahead and did that, but so I'm not. I don't think I'm going to take that anything in spread this week for that game, even though I do think Oregon probably covers. But yeah.
All right.
You want to pick first? You want me to?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'll start the noon slate. I like Rutgers plus 24.
Okay.
Rutgers is quietly 3-0, and they've looked pretty good. They got a good quarterback. And Michigan, to me, is a team that just doesn't blow teams out. Like 24 points is a lot for them. McCarthy threw 3 picks last week. He didn't look great. I don't think he's great to begin with.
Yeah.
I think Michigan's going to take care of them. I don't know. There's part of me that thinks Michigan's going to take care of it early and then kind of coast. There's part of me that thinks Rutgers can throw a couple punches back. So regardless, I just don't see them winning by more than 24. So I got Rutgers plus 24.
All right. I like that. My first pick, I'm going to stick at the noon slate, and I'm just going to go ahead and lock in Clemson. Plus 2.5 right now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and lock that in. That's
okay.
I think I couldn't live with myself if I didn't take it.
Yeah, I feel you.
So
I wish I had.
I'm going Clemson.
Whatever Oklahoma's team total is what I want to take. My book's not listing it.
Let me see if I can find it on here.
That's what I want.
Oklahoma. Let's see here. There's got to be some team totals on here somewhere. I can't find it, but regardless, all right, whatever. Whatever the line is.
Total. Oklahoma's team total against Cincinnati is what I want. I don't care what the line is. They're going to score a million.
36.5.
Yeah,
that's what it looks like.
No doubt. That's what I want. They're going to score 60.
All right, 36.5. My second pick, I'm going to go Washington State, Oregon State under 56.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not what I expected.
Really? I like the under there. I think Oregon State's really gritty, and I think Washington State is gritty in the same way, but it's just so sly that you never really notice it.
Yeah.
So I like that game to be a little mucky, to be honest. I don't like a lot of points being scored in it.
I like Kansas BYU over 55.
I like that as well. That's
kind of a fun game. Kansas 8.5 was kind of called my name because I feel like it's a really big spread. But
what number did you say?
55.
Okay, I'm seeing 54.5 right now, so you might be able to get it lower.
Yeah, give me that then.
Yeah, I like that. My next one, I'm going with the biggest over on the board, and it's going to be awesome. Oregon, Colorado, over 71.5.
Love that.
Points.
That is.
Yeah, 71.5.
All right, for my final pick. I'm conflicted. I want Iowa Penn State under. Okay. I'm doing 3 unders.
Iowa, Penn
Iowa,
State.
Penn State under 40.
Wait, you're doing 3 unders? How?
Yeah.
You got to do 2 spreads, right?
There's the rule. You got 4 plays.
Oh, I thought we were doing 2 spreads too.
No, 4 plays.
Oh, okay. All right, sweet. I will do. I hate to just take all the big games of the week, but I'm going.
Actually, screw
Notre
it, Griff.
Dame.
Take my over off of
Okay.
the whatever game I did, and put North Carolina minus 7.5.
Okay, I like that.
They're gonna kill Pitt. Pitt stinks.
That was one I had my eye on, but
Pitt stinks.
I'm between a couple right now.
Pitt's trash.
What is? I'm gonna go. Actually, I'm gonna go Texas Tech minus 6 versus West Virginia instead of Notre Dame. Actually, I think Texas Tech is actually pretty good. I don't. They lost their first 2 games in absolute nail biters to 2 teams that are pretty good. Wyoming is. I'm not sure what they are entirely. I think they're a half decent football team, but Oregon's really good.
Yeah,
but it is at West Virginia, so.
Ooh, I might like the Mountaineers there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna take Texas Tech.
Bad.
I'll take the Red Raiders.
Well, that's the show right there, folks. We appreciate you guys listening. Obviously, like and subscribe to the video, follow us on Twitter and all the platforms shown. You guys are the best. Just enjoy Saturday. Like this is the ones when it's June and you're like, man, I can't wait for college football. Like this is the Saturday you're envisioning. Even if the games flop, it doesn't matter. It's still awesome. You're still going to get that opening kickoff. You're going to see Ohio State, Notre Dame. It's a classic matchup. It's going to be awesome. Hopefully the Dogs take care of business and we can just enjoy the rest of the games. So that's the show for today. Everybody have a good rest of the week. Go Dogs.